So if you can do it, I don't know, BlackBerries are different than the iPhones. I guess you don't have the batteries like. But anyway, that helps a lot. In terms of people that are following you, I think you should answer the people who reply to you. I think it's polite. I think it makes them want to follow you. I think it makes them more interested in what you're going to say next. So rather than ignore the people that, when they say something, I think it's good to reply to them. Keep track of your fellow reporters who are covering the same beat or the same court case or whatever, because sometimes you'll miss something, or sometimes, they'll retweet their stuff and they'll retweet yours. And then you really get the whole picture. If you look through my book, you'll see a lot of my stuff some of it's retweeting somebody else's. I think if you really are careful and accurate and really get the gist of, I think you'll get noticed and people will follow you. I know Eric Zorn and Carol Marine and John Cass all followed me when they couldn't be in the courtroom, and they used to email me, and it was just a lot of fun. Capital Facts, I think you guys probably know what that is. It's a blog in Chicago from Springfield. He was following my Twitter, and he'd have my feed up on his screen, mine and Natasha Korecki during the whole trial. And Muckrack, do you guys know about Muckrack? Okay, because Muckrack follows which journalists are in. There were many days, I was the most active on Muckrack out of everybody. So it's kind of, it gives you a good idea of what's trending and who's out there doing stuff. Okay, in terms of resources, I told you about the tweet book, which is, great for once you get going and you want to have like a diary of, that's basically a diary of both trials for me. You know about TweetDeck, I imagine, where you can see Facebook and Twitter and everything on one screen, and that's great. And
Hootsuite is typically what we'll use, but some are married to TweetDeck.
Yeah, Hootsuite's good too. And then there's something called Listorious. Do you know about that? It's a phone book of Twitter users, and it sorts by keywords, and that's good.
What's it called?
It's called Listorious. Listorious. Are you guys aware of Haro? Haro's great. Haro's great not just for Twitter, but Haro I've used for news stories too. It's help a reporter out, and you can post. I'm looking for. I actually did a story. I did a story that got killed. It was a great story. It was a couple in Chicago who had twins on an airplane, and they got kicked off the airplane because the twins were crying. And I did this whole interview. I talked to them. They had everything ready to go, and the husband killed. He said, "I can't have my name in the paper." Well, the Tribune, if you're not going to put your name in, forget it. So I had done all the work and whatever, but I had put out on Haro. Does anyone know people who have had children and gotten kicked off the plane because of their children's behavior? And I got so many people to talk to. It's crazy. So Haro's really good.
That's a listserv, correct? You can
put
the request out over the listserv.
It's very good. Just take a look at it anyway, because it'll show you who's writing what, or what magazines or newspapers.
Used a lot by PR people to pitch story ideas or help their clients.
Exactly. Here's what Eric Zorn. I asked Eric last night, "What did you think about Twitter and following me on Twitter and all that?" He said he followed much of the second trial from the comfort of his desk using TweetDeck and the Blago trial hashtags, and it was very valuable. It's a great contribution to the journalistic ecosystem for breaking news events. I don't think it replaces anyone, but it augments everyone. So that's basically, and then I have a little bit of Twitter etiquette that I found, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I pretty much agree with all this. One I already told you is don't send an automated welcome to anybody. Don't protect your tweets. This guy says, what's the point? You're using a public medium, so why would you protect your tweets if you want your stuff to be out there? Fill out your bio on your profile. It establishes you as someone who with credibility. And there's a lot of people out there who you don't want to follow, or they're not going to be, you know, accurate or whatever. But put in your bio. I have, I'll share on my, let's see. I have my Twitter page here too, don't I? I don't know if I
Over.
do.
You may have deleted it out.
That's okay. Well, here, this is on, here's my bio and this is my personal website where I post all my work and everything. But put in your bio what you've done, where you've been. It establishes, you know, some legitimacy, and I think that's, people will want to follow you more, and you want to get followers. Don't end a tweet with "please retweet." It's icky, as they say. It's not great. And this person, they say don't tweet your own blog more than 3 times a day. Your blog post. So, yeah, I mean, you don't want to put stuff out there too often. It's different with Twitter when you're doing, you know, live updates. That's going to be all day long. And that's basically.
Tell them about the bailiff.
Oh, if you're going to federal court, you're covering a trial. Just know that you are at the mercy of whatever nice bailiff or mean bailiff or whatever you know that are running the courtrooms, and just be really, really respectful. Don't be cocky. Don't be, I'm a reporter, I'm allowed to do this, because we at one point at the second trial, this one bailiff who we got to know really well said, "Put your phones away. You can't tweet. You can't use your BlackBerries." And we all said we knew we could. So I think one of us sent out a message to Mike Dobbins, who's the head of the whole court, saying, "Mike, there's a problem here. Your bailiff is saying we can't." It was fixed. But if you have a problem, do it in a polite, respectful way. I mean, court is all about, you know, procedure and being respectful, and that's really important. If you don't turn your phone off and it rings in the courtroom, you could get thrown out for the day. People at Conway Black's trial did, very often. And the other thing is, if you're nice and you're respectful and they get to know you, they let stuff slide. I'll give you an example. I had my voice recorder, my tape recorder, in my bag, which number one you shouldn't have in the courtroom. They have like a lockbox in the federal court building downstairs. For some reason, it was in my bag. I don't know. It was in the middle of court. We all hear like it sounds like a radio, and everyone's going. We're all going. What is going on? It was my tape switched on, and it was like it was on. And the bailiff, who knew me and whatever, he like let it slide. But other people, I mean, I've seen people get thrown out when their phones ring. So that's just, you gotta play the game, and you just have to really, you know, play by the rules.
When it comes to live tweeting, do you ever retweet those more than one time, like a particularly interesting tweet, or with live tweet, is it usually just once?
I guess you could. I mean, I didn't really. I think usually it was a one-time thing because the pace was so, you know, you really didn't have time to go back and. But with other Twitter things, maybe if there was something really compelling that you wanted to put it out there another time during the day, you thought people might see it, I think it's okay.
We were talking about personal, as a journalist, your personal tweets versus job tweets. Do you think that you should use the same Twitter account? I mean, if you have a personal.
I think you can.
Yeah.
But just remember, you're a journalist. Don't put stuff out there that you don't want out there. Mm-hmm. Don't say, you know, I got drunk last night and ended up at some guy's house, and you know, you don't put stuff out there that you just pretend that, like, keep in the back of your mind that someday you may be Barbara Walters and someone's going to dig up your past.
Yeah.
And just, you know what? And just be careful. But I think it's okay to do personal stuff. I mean, I'm trying to, I mean, for me personally, I don't do personal stuff like where I'm going to lunch and all that. But if I see an article I like, not that I've written, but someone else has, I put it on Twitter yesterday. I don't know if you all read the New York Times yesterday. It was a great opinion piece. If you didn't read it, go read it. It's this woman who ended up having a baby who has Tay-Sachs, and the baby's going to die baby's 18 months old and will die by the time he's 3.